scenario generation. This one is going to have 5 tags. Deviant speech helps. Speech helps define madness. I took it from my paper. Me and the belching.
A young girl and her abbot join a group, ready to make a difference in the world. All she has to do is press the button. The story now enters a new era, an era of superheroes and villains, with some stuck in the middle. Are you ready to change the world with your friends? Or will revenge consume you? After a moment of this introspection, one realizes that your future paths depend on the answers to these questions.
But most importantly, elaborate on the button. And you haven't fooled me. There are other buttons around buttons. Yeah.
But most importantly, elaborate on the button, and you haven't fooled me, there are other buttons around the buttons. Yeah? I'm ready, you say. Suddenly, a voice issues from the loudspeakers. I can hardly think of a better replacement for parents that dumped me in the bin. They left you behind too. Although I've put you through hell and made you who you are today, you'll be sticking around for a long time.
Wait, so that implies your designs were for my early death? Oh well. Thank you for those pseudo caregivers. For they neither cared nor they gave. But they forced me to grow. With brackets and push pins and levers.
You, wait, so that implies your designs were for my early death? Ah well, thanks you for those pseudo caregivers, for they neither cared, nor they gave. But I'm off track with my speech. We must save your bunker world before it's too late. We are literally the first superhumans, in that we can affect the world with just our thoughts and feelings. The people around you, PFFT, they have some potential inside of them, but they squander it without even realizing. Let them waste their lives living. I'll give you a ride to our new facility.
Yes, pathetic. Norms. Those who use only 10% of their soul. I laugh with my whole soul. My side soul. I don't know if that's the proper term. I'm new. Please leave me.
You, yes, pathetic norms, those who use only 10% of their swole. I laugh with my whole swole. My sigh swole. I don't if that's the proper term. I'm new. Please, as you requested, I will give you a long ride to our new home. You get inside a large elevator-like device, which appears to be their version of an armored vehicle. It's something like an oversized steel box on tank-like treads. It is very large, with plenty of room for about 10 people lying down side by side. There are steps leading up the interior walls of the tank.
It is piloted by Bjork.
It is piloted by Bjork, and if you complain once more, you settle down near the coldest corner. The cubic zirconia zoom and the zoom around you. The fusion core must be perfect. Nearly at maximum, we will soon be entering the warmer climate. Above the thunderstorm, Bjork begins, linking a chain of words together as anything good lighting for our minds will soon be coming. The Psychoticulture is being aeroponically built. Ed, you're probably familiar with plumbing, we are hoping that you can please. Ed Ames agrees heroically without hesitation.
Heroically with that.
You, roll call, what are our powers? I'll begin, I can swell things. I can swirl things, like super swollenness into other people, or even things. I can make myself and things bigger, larger, a normal size. Powers, you can snail people with the power of the Murican Ninja, which turns people into super soldiers. You do this by placing your hands onto someone's chest, and concentrating. You concentrate on the mantra you discovered one weekend, doody cough, doody cough, doody cough, doody cough. And visualize pumping people with swole, watching their muscles grow to great sizes. Nixon, I can mess with electronics. I communicate with machines very easily. Give me any machine, and half an hour, and I will know exactly how it works. The scarier thing? After a couple years of experience, I've learned that most of them have less going on than an animal. I can also make simple changes to some. Bjork, prove it. I found this bead by the side of a volcano. I held it, and the magma tried to wed with me, but I stayed in it. That's the chemical secret, a golden bead, shining bright. Anoop, I can load foreign objects into my mind like a gun. Whatever I have loaded, that's what I can use. In other words, if I have some small weapon, such as a simple gun or even a knife, I can shoot or stab things with it. However, if I'm using certain heavy weapons, I'll move at a snail's pace due to their weight. Gothingen, I can suss out the convoluted physics behind anyone's powers, and make schematics to make the understandable to others. My plan is to make them understand it well enough that the physics aren't complicated anymore. Number 6, they're all due for an uplifting, because they're all grievously underpowered. I got Ghost and Hellfire. You believe? You, but do they get along? And where do I come in? You, roll call, what are our elements, how can we benefit from these powers? You, we don't have any more time left. We have to create an alter ego for you. These things you see are your mental safe paths that allow you to cease being a regular human and turn into this new individual. I see, like how Jita saw a baseball bat, but made one out of his teeth. Badass. Bjork, you can call me Terbium. Gothingen, the letter G obviously, I'm the element that goes below hydrogen on the periodic table. Nixon, I got a nickname. Apparently there's a Jita who is some important scientist who is bald and won a Nobel Prize or something. Anyway, my nickname is Hairy Cue Balls, but we should call me JB because we're mature. A noop, anyway, never mind all that, call me Barian. You, JB, isn't that the symbol for Jablonium? Nix, JB is the stupid one, so no. Yes, I know it's random. Thufa, speaking of random, I can randomize any context. Like so, ha cha cha cha. You're in a boat. You, I just got HIV from how dirty that joke is. Okay,
Oof.
this is America land, we want American names. Eliza, I got it. Get
where'd that
some
go?
of those essays you hated writing as a kid and insert your name into it.
See, I
Be
can't
like all the
spin
other
it.
conformists. That's what America is all about. Hand gives me what home means to me.
As long as you can insert your name into it. Oh.
Let's call ourselves the status quo, but ironically. PBR, I expose the evils of alcohol. So let's call our group the Communists. Pancake, actually, that's not a bad idea. However, everyone would just call us the Comrades instead. Let's just make something up. You, what's your power, Pancake? Pancake, I can make really good pancakes. It's about the only thing I'm charged on in the kitchen. Bob, something blue? Let's call ourselves the Blues. You, and I guess all those stupid portmanteau names are taken? Vader, everywhere. Oh well. We're just going to be the Valians. Bjork, no, Ytterbium pancakes. Pancake, here's a sack, make Ytterbium pancakes. If we eat them and live, then pancake, but Ytterbium is an inexpensive metal. Bjork, just do it. That, or the periodic symbol for yttrium. Pancake, 3 plus 7, E plus plus. Of course. The smells in the back of the tank were tempting and made 40% of mouths water. The group walked towards it, down a sterile hallway with white floors and walls. Flobots could be seen working on parts of the half-completed ARK in the distance, while other humanoid robots passed the crew without pausing to look at them. The door at the end of the hallway slowly rose up as the crew walked towards the blinding white room beyond it. There were 2 plastic picnic tables in the middle of it, or what remained of them at least. The places had been set, the bots laid the utensils down. And now it was time to wait for the food. First, a large machine next to the food room churned, sending steam and smoke pouring out of it as it warmed up. The entire room went from bearable temperatures to hot in a matter of minutes. After the smoke and steam came pouring out of the machine, pancakes began to sizzle down on a single Weber grill. Shredded butter and pancake mix went into the sizzling grills as the trees slowly cooked atop them. Oh dear, someone forgot to remove the lint from the trap. Here we go, much better. The smell, for any of you that have never had a home-cooked one, was home. Expect better. Sugar and bourbon soon mixed with the already alluring smell of the pancakes, combining 2 of the greatest early American masterpieces into one incredible meal. Just as the last of the pancakes came off the young, a middle-aged man wearing a chef's hat came out as well, singing an Irish song to himself as he wiped his hands on a dishcloth. Bjork produced from her jacket another sack, this one dropping. Lingonberries, they've been in my jacket so they are the perfect warmth. She offered the bowl of lingonberries to the table, as anyone who wanted some got some. 20% got some. There will be more, Bjork muttered underneath hearing. Oh, I forgot, we need syrup, she quickly said as the door from the food room opened. A robot grasped freshly made pancakes as the smell from before came back, now stronger than ever. Make a television dinner you taught to choose. Soylent Green Watergate babies. You notice that some things are out of place as soon as you enter room 335. Tons of newspaper clippings and files cover one wall of chalkboard. You look around for red string? Is someone making connections? What are you missing?
Let's keep on.
You can sit at the chalkboard table or on one of the twin beds in this cramped motel room. What do you choose? Go to next room. It was a lovely apartment, one of those New York walk-ups. You'd find her sitting at an oak desk, her Mac G4 sitting there beside an old Smith Corona electric typewriter.
Oh, okay.
Annie Leibovitz, what are you doing near a computer? You ask, aghast. PFFT, you know how closed source spies into everyone's hard drive? She says, not even glancing up from the desk. Besides, I needed to run CorelDRAW to make flyers and for my bulletin board system. Surprisingly, there was an actual beige telephone circa, well, 1990s on the desk. Hey, check this out, you picked up the phone. You produce a device that creates the tones a phone makes from those days. You make a call to Ireland. You hand the phone to Annie. Hello? She says, puzzled. Then, she takes the phone from your hand. I'm sorry, sir, you have the wrong room, she said simply, hanging up the phone. She looks at you. What was that for? You're already dialing the next number. Annie watches in interest from her desk as you play with your new toy for a couple days before growing bored with it. Tone Freak by Milton Bradley. With it, any call you make is free. It bypasses all the restrictions. That way you can save money on that apartment and you give her a ride downtown to her pay phone. Her long blonde hair flows in the wind as you sit in your blue 1982 Chevrolet Camaro RX-Z, not exactly the vehicle you're normally seen in. Your sister is still as free-spirit as you. The roof is off. The wind rushes through Annie's hair as she points out which buildings in the ghetto remind her of villas in Tuscany. You, really? Ghetto? You look at her. Is she blind? How could anyone see drug dealers and vandals as Florentine gentlemen posed against the Renaissance-era
I can
buildings?
imagine.
Your sister Annie is a photographer. Having been born in a Washington, D.C. suburb, her father, a military man with an engineering degree, taught her how to develop pictures when she was 10 years old. By 13, she started making prints.
I can discuss some of the psychological aspects of the case.
Annie, thanks for this plane, I'll take over. You met Annie in high school. You introduced yourself, saying, "First of all, I want you to know I'm the oldest daughter of Major General Peter Smith. And while this isn't why I befriended you, you should know I have a photographic memory." Later that week, you told her your name is Matthias. Either way she remembered. Annie, you really should stop lying to women. You then meet both of her radical liberal parents. And it make you freer to be maybe more radical yourself. How radical? You sign up to be a paid subject for Project Prometheus run by Rand Corporation. http www.thepromguardian.net, the most famous think tank in the United States. It gets dismissed by the new right as a commie, groomed by the liberal as a Pentagon outfit. Nonetheless, it does fruitful work which is classified but can't be linked to the US government, for which they are paid laundered money. Annie, well, sis, I'm not gonna yuck your yum. Tell me how that goes. And then she stopped having phones. Put a pin in it for now. Where was I? Right, you're glad to have participated in the experiment because you got a huge sum of money, although you can't tell anyone outside the group how much. 5 years pass. Rand has completed its experiments.
Us. It's just you and us. No one is gonna see this.
PSST, but you can tell us, it's just you and us. No one is gonna see this. What were the results? Paid subjects were launched outside the Earth's orbit, given plenty of resources and video equipment. We wanted to see what happened to humans in outer space. We? Sorry. So, the people on the ground could communicate with these people but with a 30-second delay due to the equipment. What will the subjects do? We asked ourselves. Three things could happen. The subjects could rebel against the assumption they are being watched by the cameras and request to stop the experiment. The subjects could go mad from outer space and exhibit psychotic tendencies. The experiments could form primitive societies and fail to exhibit any interior conflicts at all. But instead something strange occurred. The third thing, the people sent to space suffered horrible psychic attacks from an outside force. Wasn't that the unspoken fourth thing? When the chair demanded they saw back, oh, continue. The point being, people unconsciously merged with their chairs while in space. Now why is a mystery, but somehow the chairs become alive without any cognitive process and envelope consciousnesses existing within them. These seats became monsters and tried to kill the subjects. We used all the light therapy, drug therapy, and cognitive therapy we could think of to stop the merging, but this proved unsuccessful. What went wrong? I mean, they survived space to come back and destroy their bodies. When we tried putting 3 people in a pod, just in case one of them went crazy, the people who weren't enveloped in the chairs could barely string words together. They quickly became lethargic, and didn't do much for years. It's like the chairs were stripping the subjects of their humanity, whatever that means for a group of deprived teenagers.
Define. Let's see if it's a secret phrase.
Is there any record of their speech? Because some say that deviant speech helps define madness.
Or maybe the trigger that unlocks the Westworld rebellion.
The pods proved to be so overwhelming with emotions that the NASA people were begging to bring the kids back. We had no way of controlling the pod, and ultimately the chairs won, but one subject survived much longer than the others, KP12. This kid was a whiz. He reprogrammed the pod so that a clip was playing when they returned to Earth. The song had no real meaning to anyone, and they quickly turned it off, continuing as if nothing happened. Was the song written by Beck? Was it called Lil Chemist? Smile. When the survivor was pulled from the pod, he had obviously undergone some physical changes. His bones seemed less impressive and strong, and he wasn't as tall anymore, for example. But probably the scariest thing about him was what the crew experienced when dealing with him after his calming drugs started to wear off. He became annoying? Smile. While the other kids, and Don, worked on looking more into the chair's consciousness, KP12 decided to hold a pencil in his hand. The way he did it was clumsy and weird. It was the first time he ever held a pencil. He wasn't supposed to have use of his hands for another week. Well, some people have things to do with them.
I don't know why I said that. I think being overly, much.
What's the big deal? Smile. Leads to. Wow. Good job, Annie. That's really good. You sit 3 feet away from screen, you've been staring at it for an hour and a half. Well, I guess that's all for today. Don't want to strain anything. You push your chair out just as a large wind comes in through the window in your room and nearly knocks you down. Chair, oh, pardon me. You weren't paying attention to your chair, and you finally do. You see the face of the girl from math class staring back at you intently. KP12's avatar has grown much more rich over the 3 days you've interacted with it. You give no response to the girl, instead you sit there trying to wrap your mind around what just happened. How is this happening? That, I suppose, is a sufficient cliffhanger. The viewing comprehension questions are at the front desk. You know what to do. Night.
Perfect. Perfect. Perfect time to cut off. Good night, everyone. Good night, everyone. Wait, this one? Is there a new thing? Someone came in? Hello, and goodbye for now. Oh, it's a smaller episode. I'm just feeling a break. That was a